Joy Guru. I am Amalendu Chatterjee. I am an ex-associate professor and a SPR. If you like my content and deliberation, then kindly do subscribe to this channel of mine, namely Anukul Kotha. And I would also like to request you to comment and offer suggestions so that I can be enriched. Today, I would like to substantiate, or you can say establish, this narrative that untottering adherence, undislocated adherence, firm belief, devotion is the key, you can say, is the key for self-elevation. Now, all of us want self-elevation. After all, we are above animals. We are not happy with bread alone. So therefore, we want to self-elevate. Now, the roadway, or you can say the road map, or you can say the avenue through which we can do this, is that we will have to get ourselves attached with our mentor or with our guru. So this is the, you can say, this is the simplest pathway as stated by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, that Bhakti Yoga, that is the path of devotion, is by far the most easiest pathway through which we can get ourselves attached with the beloved, or with the, you can say, with the Ishto, or you can say the Supreme Person. Now in this connection, I would like to narrate two stories. The first story is more or less like this. There was a mentor or guru. He had no characters of his own. In other words, he had no spiritual qualities. Moreover, he was a thief. But then he managed to do some, you can say, he had some disciples. And one day he went to the house of a disciple. And then that particular disciple, of course, had immense faith, had immense devotion towards him. He had untottering adherence, unrepelling adherence to his mentor or to his guru. And naturally, actually, he did serve this person to his level best. And while this mentor was staying at the house of this disciple, one day, one of the sons of this disciple got ill and died. And then this disciple did a wonderful deed. He actually rubbed and washed the feet of his mentor with a pot of water. And then he took few drops of this washing water, and then he sprayed this water over the dead body of his son. And immediately the son got back his life. Now, seeing this peculiar incident, or you can say unprecedented incident, the mentor, the guru, got amazed. He was absolutely astonished. And then he thought for a while. And then he realized that he had such tremendous power. You see, the power, he thought, at least he thought, that the power of the washing water of his feet had the tremendous power, and that power actually brought back the life of that person. This was the conception or belief of that particular mentor. And then he hatched a plan. He wanted to capitalize this power. So you can say, bearing this power in mind and driven by sheer self-interest, he went to a house of another disciple. And there he saw that one of the sons of this particular disciple was wearing, was wearing a heavy chain made up of gold. As I have already stated that the mentor was a thief, he immediately snatched that heavy chain made up of gold. And not only that, he throttled that particular boy to death. Now, one person, however, witnessed the entire incident, and he divulged the entire incident to all of them. Naturally, being enraged, all of them beat this mentor mercilessly. But then after a while, this mentor or sage very feebly said that, see, I have a power. See, rather, the washing water of my feet has a power to bring back the life of a dead person. And they, the person who were around, they thought, well, let him, give him this chance if he can perform this, unprecedented act. And that particular mentor did that. And actually he sprayed, that is, he sprayed few drops of his washing water of his feet. But then the son did not get back his life. Seeing this, or you can say watching this, all of them were absolutely convinced that this mentor, this particular guru, was an absolute hypocrite. So naturally, they beat him mercilessly. And not only that, they insulted him and humiliated him to the, you can say. And then that particular earlier disciple somehow got this news, and he immediately rushed to the house of this disciple, and he said to everybody, just wait a bit. You see, not that the washing water of his feet has no power of its own. Just see. And then with all sincerity, with all devotion, and with, as I've already stated, that he had untottering adherence, untottering faith towards this particular mentor, he very gently rubbed and washed the feet of his mentor with a pot of water, and then he took a few drops of water, as I've already stated, and then he spread this water to the body of this particular son, and this son got back his life. Now the mentor got the clue that it is not because of the power of the washing water of his feet that actually brought back the life of that poor boy, but the power lies in the devotion, in the untottering attachment of a disciple towards his mentor. So this is the message, and I must say in this connection that this story was told by none other than Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha on 7th July 1948. Now the message of this story is simply this, that a disciple must have untottering adherence, unrepelling attachment towards his mentor. He must not blame his ideal or mentor from the selfish spirit, and he must not doubt the ideal from the selfish spirit. That is, he must obey the instructions of his mentor as he has instructed. Not only that is, if a person, or if a disciple rather, has deep faith, then deep faith can do anything. You see, and one must not lose faith from his mentor. You see, this is that clue of this particular story. Now let me say another story. You see, there was a milkmaid who used to give milk to a saintly person who stayed on the another bank of a river. So naturally she had to cross that particular river through boat, and one day it happened like this, that it was raining cats and dogs. But then this particular milkmaid reached the river, but as she didn't get any boat, naturally she had to retreat back. But then this milkmaid had tremendous respect, tremendous adherence, attachment towards this particular saintly person, and he called him, or you can say he actually used to call him as Thakur. And then one day it happened like this, that is, it was raining cats and dogs, and as I have already stated, since she didn't get any boat, she could not give milk to his mentor, or you can say to this particular saintly person. But day after that, when she reached the house of that particular saintly person, then that particular saintly person, or you can say her mentor said that, see, why didn't you come on yesterday? Then the girl or the milkmaid, narrated that particular incident. And then the mentor said, oh, this is the matter. Well, I will teach you a mantra, a sacred hymn. And if such situation arises, then you just go on reciting this sacred hymn, and you can able to cross over, leap over a river. The milkmaid absolutely believed her statement, and then she said, well, tell me that particular sacred hymn. Then that mentor said, well, you would recite the name of Krishna, then you can leap over the river. And some few months were elapsed. Then one day it was raining again, like it was raining heavily, naturally. But then that particular milkmaid came to the river in the hope of getting a boat, but she didn't get it. But then she thought that my mentor has stated me that if I can recite this name of Krishna, then I can leap over the river. And as instructed by him, she was reciting the name of Krishna, and it happened like this, that she was able to cross over the river, and she reached the house of that particular mentor, or you can say particular saintly person. You see, then that particular saintly person, you see, got astonished to see her on that particular day. You see, she thought that she could not come on that particular day. Then she naturally, being curious, she said, well, how have you come today? Then she said, yes, as directed by you, I was reciting the name of Krishna, and I was able to cross the river, with ease. Then that saintly person was absolutely speechless. And then he said, well, let us try then again. Let us, for this time, let both of us try to cross over the river by reciting this mantra. Then the milkmaid readily agreed to, and then said, well, come with me. And both of them came to the river bank, and then that milkmaid, she was reciting the name of mantra, and she was easily crossing the river. And when she actually looked back at his mentor, she saw that particular mentor, he was reciting the name of Krishna, no doubt about it, but then he was lifting his cloth towards his knee, fearing that he could get wet. So just see why. Then particular milkmaid commented, see, what are you doing, Thakur? On the one hand, you are reciting the name of Krishna, and on the other hand, you are lifting your cloth. How is it? Then that particular mentor, got the clue and said, well, see, deep faith is the clue. Now I have realized. You have immense faith. You have untottering adherence. You have untottering attachment. You have undislocated attachment towards me, and that was the power, which was the reason behind your, crossing over of this river. Now I have realized this. So therefore, this is the matter, and I must say that the message of these two stories are essentially same. The message is essentially same. That is, if a person has untottering adherence, dislocated, adherence, attachment, attraction towards his ishto, or towards his mantra, then that untottering adherence has the power to do anything and everything. That is the reason why it is stated that a person, a disciple, must not blame the ideal from the selfish outlook. He must have belief. He must have sincere faith. And in this connection, I must say that Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha has defined faith like this. That is, if I can say the conception which is not altered by the contradictory conception is faith. I don't know whether any of you have heard this definition. This is the definition of Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha. That is, the conception which is not altered by contradictory conception is faith. See, this definition, I should say, has tremendous implications. For example, nowadays we see different varieties of, we see different kinds of newness, different kinds of, novelness in our religion. And we people, you see, often, I should say, get altered, see, from our faith. For example, somebody says that, well, that particular, you see, that particular goddess, for example, is very, you see, I should say, is very active. She can, she will give you every coveted enjoyment, whatever you like. You see, then and there, let's say I get myself, you see, altered. You can say my faith is rather tottered, I should say. My faith is altered. So therefore, the faith which is, or you can say the conception which is not altered by contradictory conception, is what is faith is all about. So therefore, deep faith can do anything and everything. So the power is not, of course, it is a fact that power comes from the Almighty, which is the powerful one, which is the, you can say, the most powerful one. See, it is a fact, but then power comes only when a person is sincere, a person is devoted, a person has untottering adherence. And in this connection, I must say again, this also has stated by Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha. He has stated that the guru or the mentor of Lord Krishna has stated to him, that is to Lord Krishna, that be concentric. In Bengali, it is called Achyuta Bhava. That is, you must have untottering, undislocated, you see, adherence, attraction, attachment towards your, towards your mentor or guru. There is be firm, be steady, you see, to your guru. You must not get deviated from your guru. And needless to say that Lord Krishna is the very epitome, is the very embodiment of untottering adherence. In other words, the name, and I must say the other name of Lord Krishna is Achyuta. It's because of the fact that he had never deviated, you see, he had never deviated from his mentor or from his guru. This is the very characteristic feature of each and every supreme person. As you all know that Lord Ramachandra is the first supreme person who has come in this earth, and then you see Lord Krishna, and there is a series. And it is said, at least I believe, that Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha is the latest incarnation of God, and you can say he is the latest supreme person. Well, you have all the rights and liberty to differ, see, with my opinion. Yes, you have your liberty to do so, but I have my own liberty that I can say with all conviction that Sri Thakur Anukul Kotha is the latest supreme person. But definitely this is my personal opinion. But you see, live apart, I should say, live these. What is important, that the moral of these two stories. In other words, I would like to, as I have already stated, that I would like to substantiate, I would like to establish this narrative, that deep faith can do anything and everything. In other words, that being and in this connection I must say that, you see, the path of devotion is by far the most easiest path through which we can get ourselves attached with our beloved, with our Ishto, with our Sadguru. You see, so therefore, a disciple, a God disciple, in other words, a God disciple relationship is always, you can say, the most easiest way out, is the most easiest avenue. So therefore, a disciple must have untottering, undislocated faith, adherence, attachment towards his mentor. This is the key to self-elevation. So therefore, if a person or if a disciple has untottering, undislocated attachment, attraction, then definitely there will be self-elevation. There is no doubt about it. And you may argue that I have already stated, you see, this term untottering adherence, untottering attachment, you see, many a times. But this is the matter. I have stated this just to emphasize, you can say, just to emphasize this I can say, the importance of this particular untottering adherence. You see, you can say deep faith. Deep faith can do anything and everything. There is no doubt about it. So, live in love. Joy Guru.